This film is a heart-wrenching watch, not just due to its acting or its score, not even its plot development, but from its depiction of obsession. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Connor, and I'm just a regular guy with no formal experience, just trying to explain why I love movies. And in this video, I want to break down why The Prestige's exploration of the dangers of obsession make this movie one of my favorites. First, I must mention that spoilers will undoubtedly follow, and after seeing my girlfriend experience the twists and turns of the story, I'm compelled to ask that you go and watch the movie yourself before watching my video. Since my first viewing, this movie has always hung with me because there was just something about this story, these performances, to the point that I just wanted to dive right back in and rewatch it right after I finished it every time. There are a lot of messages that can be taken from this movie and a lot of great qualities that could result in someone loving this film. But the way Nolan presents obsession in different characters and shows the cost of this behavior, it's just awful, and yet it's so relatable and eye-catching that you're just like, it's so easy for you to get sucked into that kind of story. First, you have Robert Angier's character, that honestly, at the start, you're kind of led to believe he's the story's hero. Most of the screen time is dedicated to him, and the first chief tragedy of him losing his wife to allegedly Alfred Borden tying the wrong knot.
Which knot did you tie? I keep asking myself that, and I'm sorry, I just don't know. You don't know? You don't know?
Leads you to want retribution for this man, for his sorrow, you know? He's just so pitiful, and you're just like, oh, this man needs a win. But as things start to progress, and he starts searching for vengeance, we get to this point when Angier asks Scarlett Johansson's character to spy on Borden for him. A little lead up to this. At this point, Angier and Borden are going hit for hit. They're both trying to take down each other's acts, and Angier brings on Scarlett Johansson as his assistant. He's like, I'm gonna send Scarlett Johansson to spy on Borden so I can learn his secrets. In the process, he's asking a woman willing to love him, and at that point, nobody was, right? The one woman willing to love him, and he intentionally asks her to leave him. And when she tells him that doing all of these shady things won't help him bring his wife back, he replies,
It won't bring your wife back.
I don't care about my wife, I care about his secret.
so quickly and so believably with one line. I, as the viewer, am no longer on his side. In the beginning, you're like, okay, you know, this guy's had a lot of bad luck, he needs a win. But now you're unsure what his motives are. You thought his motives were vengeance. You know, he lost his wife, he should get vengeance. That's fair, I guess. It's no longer about that. It's not about getting what's rightfully his. It's not about vengeance. He's forgotten his goal. He's fallen into the obsession of vengeance and forgotten why. I can only pity a person who has become so enveloped in his obsession that he forgot what drove him to that in the first place. What ices the cake even more is all the while Angier sees Borden and becomes even more incensed at the fact that Borden has a happy, loving family. Except we know it's not a happy, loving family.
I saw happiness. Happiness that should have been mine. But I was wrong. His notebook reveals that he never had the life that I envied.
It's just further emphasizing how damaged his obsession is. Where not only do you lose yourself, you lose your grasp on reality. Reality then changes around your obsession.
Go home. Forget this thing. I can recognize an obsession. No good will come of it.
In the end, Borden, Tesla, Angier, they all went searching for something. And they searched too long and too hard, where they not only bent the world to their obsession, but they destroyed themselves and everyone close to them literally and figuratively. Only in a Christopher Nolan movie could a character kill himself to further his own ambition.
No, wait, I'm not...
All the while juxtaposing this with the justification that all accomplishments must come with sacrifice. A sane person would be able to judge what would be a proper sacrifice for an accomplishment, right? But one drowning in obsession does not have the clairvoyance or the sound judgment to make that decision. What really gets me about all of this, though, is that not only do we see how awful obsession is, but the characters see it themselves, and yet they're so lost in it that they can't pull back. In a way, it's not just showing the damage of obsession, but the damage of addiction. Because obsession and addiction, they're practically synonyms at this point. Tesla openly states that it's because of his obsession that his life must be lived on the run. Thomas Edison is always trash in his place and nobody really trusts him. Angier chases a semblance of vengeance and forgets what he's avenging. Borden must live a life so that he can maintain his magic trick. In the process, both he and his twin lose everything, whether it's their loves, their fingers, their lives, and even one another.
Do you love me?
Not today.
The only one who gets to live some semblance of a happy ending is one of the Borden twins. This version of Borden is the one character who sees his obsession and faces it head on and decides, no, it's too much, and pulls back.
I don't need a secret. So, don't go back there. You leave him alone. Both of us, just leave him alone. We're done.
He still loses his brother, but he manages to live to take care of his daughter. And there's just this heartbreaking scene at the end, right before that one twin is about to be hanged, as he's walking away from his twin brother, and they're both crying. He's walking away, and he's apologizing. And he's just like, look, my ambition drove me too far. It's because of my ambition you lost your wife. It's because of my ambition that our career is over. It's because of my ambition that all of this has happened, because I lost myself. And it's only at the very end is he able to be like, I went too far, and I can't do anything about it.
You're right, I should have left him with his damn trip. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for a lot of things. I'm sorry about Sarah. I didn't mean to hurt her. I didn't. You go live your life in full now, all right? You live for both of us.
And dare I say, even if he was given the opportunity to live and stop his obsession, I don't think he would. He was too far gone. Everything in this video I'm talking about is exemplified in one scene, one particular scene in the very beginning of the movie, when Borden and Angier go to Chung-Ling Soo, a magician who makes a fishbowl appear from thin air, and they're asked to figure out how he does the trick. Outside the theater, after they watch the performance, Borden is the one who figures it out. He's able to say,
This is the trick. This is the performance. Right here. This is why no one can detect his method. Total devotion to his art. Utter self-sacrifice.
the trick is simple. He just has a fishbowl in between his legs, and he waves a cloth, and then boom, the fishbowl appears. And it's simple when you think about it. But the fact that this man is pretending he's crippled and walks like he walks with the fishbowl between his legs in real life when he's not performing, it makes people believe that he's just a crippled old man. The trick itself is accomplished by the magician pretending he's a cripple when he's not. It's the trick has nothing to do, well, I mean, it has to do with the fish, right? That's the prestige, so to speak. But all the setup and all that stuff is him pretending he's a cripple. What are the downsides of this? The cost of obsession is not just your love or your body. If you give yourself up to it, you'll wind up swallowed up and you'll become a slave to it until it becomes you.
Well, hasn't good come of your obsessions?
At first, but I followed them too long. I am their slave. And one day they will choose to destroy me.
And that's why it just feels so raw when you experience it or when you view all of this happen. And you're like, you want them to pull back and you can see the damage that's happening. And they can see the damage that's happening. And they just can't stop. And it's realistic because you see those people where they know they're doing damaging things, but they just can't stop themselves.
If you understand an obsession, then you know you won't change my mind.
This is really a big reason why I think The Prestige resonates. So that's all I got for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment what you think. What do you think about my thoughts? What do you think about The Prestige? And I hope to see you again next week. So long.